What's up, guys? Welcome to the Shooters Club. What are we going to talk about today, man?
We answered a bunch of listener questions today.
Awesome. One of my favorite questions was, where is the photography industry going to go and the camera industry going to go in the next decade, since this one's about to wrap up?
That was a fun one.
Yeah, so I got out my crystal ball and we kind of made our determinations as to exactly where it's going to go. We also talked about our favorite gear, which could possibly be sitting on the table here with us today. So yes, stay tuned for that. And again, follow us over on the Brotographer, the Shooters Club, Capture Color, and we will answer your questions whenever we go live. All right, stay tuned, guys.
Thank you, guys.
Hey, what is up, guys? Ross and David. Hey, we're here with the Shooters Club. This is episode number 7. Thank you so much for tuning in. We really, really appreciate it. We are live on Instagram, as we always are about this time. But we are, I think that's the perfect number in like the Bible. Perfect number 7, or some people call it lucky number 7.
There you go.
But yeah, we're at 7, pushing our way towards 10. Thank you guys for tuning in. We're getting more and more listens, and we want to encourage you guys to view on a different tab on Chrome while you are, working during the week or doing whatever you're doing. But thank you guys again for tuning in. We're just excited to be here.
Yes, sir.
So who are you, man? Do your little intro.
My name's David. I'm a wedding filmmaker.
And I'm Ross, and I'm a gym owner and content creator, and just all things tech and video and photography enthusiast.
There you go.
Yeah, so it is almost the end of the year. So today we wanted to talk about a few things, like what has been our favorite camera or gear-related purchase of the year, and I kind of figured out that mine isn't camera-related at all. Except for one lens, possibly. So it's like a 3-way tie.
Wait, you have 3 things?
3 things, yeah. I don't think I purchased too much during the year, but yeah, I definitely purchased a few things.
Me too.
Yeah, so I see one question rolling through. December Andrew, I'm definitely going to talk about one of those things. If you're live on Instagram, you see it over here, and that's the Rodecaster Pro. So yeah, you want to get into, what do you want to get into, man?
How was your week? Christmas just happened. How was Christmas with the family?
Christmas just happened with the family. It was really nice. It was low-key Christmas, and we did it with the family. We actually have an extended family Christmas with the grandparents tomorrow. That would be Saturday.
Still going.
How was yours, man?
It was great. Same family at home. Kind of relaxed, a little bit of wine, and just kind of hung out and just chilled. It was good.
Nice.
But anything, you shoot anything, you edit anything?
I've been figuring out how to edit on Final Cut, and I've got a big project coming up a week from today that I will possibly be shooting. So I've really wanted to put my head down and learn just the basics of Final Cut. Mm-hmm. I don't want to be put in a situation where I'm doing something for a client and I have to do something that I just don't even remotely know how to do, and then you're under the gun. You end up staying awake till 4 a.m, figuring out how to do it, like scouring, Apple's support and all that stuff. So I just don't want to get into having to do any of that. It's better to be prepared. So just kind of put my head down. Haven't really shot a lot, just shot little family stuff around the house. What about you?
Speaking of editing software, I've been editing, and I was editing today on Premiere, and nothing but crashes. All morning.
Thank you, Adobe.
All morning, Premiere has been crashing on me, so I've been kind of dealing with that, trying to figure out if there was a new update or if my computer got updated or what's going on with it. But basically, right now, we're done shooting weddings and got the head down as well and the editing. So we'll see.
Nice. All right. So relatively low-key week. It's during the holidays. You should be spending time with family and catching up and all that good stuff. Let's jump into that Q&A, man. You want to grab your phone? We can just scroll up here. We're going to get to your guys' questions now. Again, I'm live on the Brotographer. We're not quite live on the Shooters Club Instagram. We just don't have a huge following there yet. Make sure and go follow us there. That's the _shooters_club So the Shooters Club, separated by underscores. Make sure and just go follow us there. Build that following. Then we can go live there and not waste your time on the Brotographer. All right, so we are rolling on down.
What do we got?
What do we have? All these notifications that people have joined. Hello, everybody. Do you think it's a good brand? Yeah, I don't necessarily.
I think they forgot what.
I don't know what you asked. All right, here we go. How can an amateur photographer grow an IG portfolio to attract engagement or model prospects? We kind of touched on that last week, I think. Honestly, it's go shoot your friends with your camera. Go shoot your friends. Ask a model who's going to further your look. We talked about that again last week. To do stuff in exchange. Just be professional about it. Don't be creepy when you're asking someone to shoot them without them paying you. I think that photographers can come across as super creepy.
Yeah, if not done right.
Hey girl, you want some photos? Hey, yeah.
But I think you have to have intention with what you're doing on your IG page, what you're shooting, and consistency on constantly posting and engaging. As far as engagement, I think when you ask questions, you post something, you ask a question, and you kind of interact with people. It kind of helps you grow that audience and get them used to interacting with you.
Yeah, make it an interesting location that aligns with your brand or what it is that you want to shoot. But it should be, if you're trying to build your portfolio, it should be pretty easy. Yeah. Go out and shoot. Ask your friends, ask your family, ask people that are hungry as well, who want to be shot, people who are photogenic, people who are models who need their own portfolio of images. So I think that's a start.
And then start charging.
Yeah, and then start charging, and that helps you get better at your work as well. All right, scrolling on down here. How do you guys like the Rode podcast? December Andrew asks how we like the Rodecaster Pro. Shout out to Camera West Walnut Creek. I got this from them and had to wait a little bit because it was back ordered. These microphones that we're using, the Rode pod mics, I think they missed the boat a couple times actually. But man, I love it. It's fantastic. So if you're watching on Instagram, you can't see this on YouTube right now, but if you're watching, you get a wider angle view. Maybe I'll record some of this right here. And I'll cut to it on the video feed so that you guys can see what we see. I got the Rodecaster Pro over here, and the Rodecaster Pro is a 4-channel, so you can do 4 XLR mics plugged into it, and this microphone that we're using is the pod mic. The pod mic is specially designed for the Rodecaster Pro. You can use it for other mixing boards.
Like a regular mic?
Yeah, you can use it like a regular mic and put it in other mixing boards and all that. But the Rodecaster Pro knows exactly that it's this mic being input. So it does all their fancy software stuff to make it sound as good as possible. The mic's great. You don't have to have a pop filter on it. It has a built-in pop filter. They're heavy. They're just really nice. We're using the PSA 1 arms to move it around if we need to look at something and still talk into the microphone. But the interesting thing with the video, if you're watching on YouTube right now, is that we have gone with the help of Jared Hill. Check him out on YouTube as well at Ditch Auto and State of Tech. Thanks, man, for helping me out with this. But we go out from here into an Atomos Ninja 5 recorder. Last week, I actually screwed up the audio because I'm not in the habit yet of plugging directly into the recorder and having the recorder record the audio. So it plugs into the recorder, and if you actually plug it into the camera, it gets all these weird clipping. It's pretty gnarly. It sounded very bad. Luckily,
it was clipping really.
It was clipping really bad. Luckily, I was able to back it up because the Rodecaster Pro has an SD card in the back of it, so it's fantastic. I just synced it up in post, and we were good. If you notice the intro last week. The intro I wanted to keep, but because we didn't record that on the Rodecaster Pro, that's what it sounds like when you plug directly into camera. So the downside is that you have to plug it into like an Atomos 5 recorder and then go into the camera, and then I just sync up the camera with the onboard mic and the Atomos Ninja 5. That's the one kind of thing that I don't like about it, but aside from that, it's really nice. It's got sound effects. It's So to answer your question, I like it, man. Long.
That was good. I'm sure they like hearing how it works. I always like that stuff.
Yeah. So Jared Hill helped me out with all that stuff, and it's a really nice product, and it's relatively cheap. I think it's like $700.
Just real question for me: when you get the video, it's already synced up, right, with the audio, or you have to sync it in post?
It is synced up, but that's only because I'm recording externally.
Okay.
Yeah.
So that's the nice part, right? If you have the Ninja 5 recording, it's already synced up.
Synced up.
Perfect.
Good to go. I do a 2 frame delay, I believe, because the audio and video, it doesn't sync up perfectly when you go, and that's not the Rodecaster Pro's problem. It doesn't sync perfectly in my experience from the camera into, or the camera or the device like the Rodecaster Pro into the Ninja 5.
A little pro tip right there.
So it gets pretty gnarly if you have to go in and manually do that. I want to make a feature film independently. Any camera suggestions with limited budget? I mean, I don't know what feature film means.
They could rent. I don't know.
Yeah, absolutely. If you have it all planned out, for sure, rent.
What's the budget? When you guys ask questions, make sure you throw in at least a budget range so we kind of can get an idea of what your budget is. And
so are you talking $500 or are you talking $50,000?
Yeah,
because a feature film, I mean, that sounds like it would have some type of budget, right?
Yeah. What you would have to have a budget already set up.
Yeah. What exactly is a feature film for you?
I don't know. Any like mirrorless camera, you can shoot.
Oh, for sure.
It shoots in 24 frames and
your lighting is going to be key.
Get your audio right.
Do you guys know Newer Brand? Do you think it's a good brand for a small budget? I know their products.
Yeah.
I would say it depends on the product.
Honestly, a lot of times when I buy their stuff, I end up just buying something better.
Yep.
I find it a waste of money.
If you're gonna do something like a background stand,
yeah,
and it's just you're gonna set it up, tear it down, use sandbags, it's probably fine.
Well, even the lighting stands that I had from them, I had to replace because they were too.
Not the light stands, just like a seamless paper.
Oh, okay.
Background stand, like if you're gonna do something like that, I have a cheap one and it's lasted me forever. And after like 6 years, the light stand broke, and then you just use a different one because by that time you've accumulated so many of them. But I would say it depends on its use. If it's going to have heavy use, it's obviously a more budget-friendly brand, so the quality isn't going to be there as much. Brands like, I love Kupo. I've got a whole bunch of Kupo light stands. I know you love Manfrotto.
Yep.
These are not sponsored, but if you guys would like to sponsor this podcast in the upcoming year, feel free because we use your products. So yeah, let's move on.
Just keep in mind that if you go cheap on your stuff, you might have to upgrade anyways and spend even more money. So just keep an eye on that.
You get what you pay for.
Yeah,
you really do. All right, I have a Canon EOS Rebel XS. Is my gear obsolete, or can I still compete or be capable as a photographer? Oh man, you can absolutely compete. You can take any. I mean, to a point. I mean, you might reach technical limitations if you're trying to blow a picture up to infinity.
Yeah.
But your lens is going to matter more than that camera.
Yeah, because even a couple years ago, even whatever was shot then still looks good now. You
Sure.
know?
Now, if you're doing something highly specialized, like sports photography, okay, now maybe the autofocus system might not be able to keep up, but only you know what you're shooting.
Yeah.
So it depends, compete is kind of a relative term. All right, moving on down. What do you think of Canon's upcoming 1DX? Is it a total waste of time by not concentrating, or just a decent all-around mirrorless body? Oh, concentrating on just a decent all-around mirrorless body. Well, I do think that it is needed because most of the sports photographers out there are still using big DSLRs.
That's what you mentioned last time, right? It's mainly for sports.
Like
specialized. Is it a specialized camera? Or?
I mean, it's for people who just need extreme speed. Go and listen to any sporting event, like golf after they swing, or baseball, or
hear the shutters, or what?
Hear the shutters, man, or like a Trump press conference at the White House. Yeah. It sounds like a machine gun is going off, right? And I'm sure a lot of photographers are now using mirrorless, but I've been told and heard from people speaking about this, that most people out there, like photojournalists, and sports people still use the big
bodies.
Because, and you got to think, brands like Sony have just come out with 600 millimeters, 400 millimeters for their mirrorless bodies. Most of the glass floating out there is still Canon and Nikon, and so these men and women are still rocking these bodies.
Those cameras are still relevant.
So I think at least for one more iteration, another 3 to 4 years, I think they'll be relevant. By that point, it seems like technology is increasing at such a fast pace that by that point, I think that the mirrorless lens lineup will really be flushed out. And I don't see any reason at that point not to have a mirrorless body. All right, moving on. We'll do a few more questions here. Hey, dudes. Hey, what's up? Jovis Visuals. How would you guys approach shooting still and motion at the same time? Mainly video with images sprinkled in. I'll take this one because I do that all the time.
Yeah.
That's why I use Sony products. I feel like, and you could do this with Canon, and you could do this with Nikon and all this stuff, but I think a mirrorless body is really designed to shoot photography and video. Now, I don't know how fast you have to jump between shooting photos and videos, and only you know that. But I think a mirrorless body is totally capable of handling it. And most cameras these days, if they can hold their settings, and if you have like a custom 1, 2, and 3 buttons, they can totally hold their settings, and it should be relatively easy.
You can also, if you want, you can take out stills from the 4K footage you shoot as well. I've done that.
Absolutely.
Depending on where you're gonna put the images at, you can kind of get away with it.
If you're shooting fast action, that 1/50th shutter speed I've come across has been an issue. But if it's a stationary person,
depending on what you're shooting, you can get away with it. Especially for Instagram, you don't need that much resolution.
Oh yeah.
So I do it all the time for our wedding work. If I need stills or a YouTube, little cover page for the video.
Yep.
I just take out a still from the video and it works fine. So.
I've definitely done that before. You don't have as much editing like leniency there because it's not raw, but you can do it. I'm a wedding photographer that still delivers on Blu-ray. Whoa.
Uh-oh.
What is a better way of delivering? Possibly digital with a chapter selection?
Wedding
videographer.
Videographer. Okay. Oh, okay. You can go ahead. So what does he want with chapter selection? Depends.
Instead of a Blu-ray, like a digital way of delivering. This is your domain.
Yeah. So main question: why are you delivering Blu-ray? Because not that many people have DVD players, or are you clients requiring it? Are they asking for it? Because I've never delivered any DVDs or anything like that.
It's all digital.
Yeah, I was doing Dropbox. So you can deliver a media file through Dropbox, but it doesn't look that professional. There's this website called Mediazilla, which kind of hosts your video there, and you can have an intro to it. You can have different videos, like when I do teaser trailers, you can set a teaser trailer, almost like chapters, and have your main feature film.
Vimeo has been the place for years.
You can do Vimeo.
Is there less compression on Vimeo?
I don't know. I never used Vimeo. But because Mediazilla, it's like its own webpage. They get on there and it kind of looks more professional. And there's this other one that I might try out for this next season is Webflow. And it's kind of a hosting site as well to deliver to clients. And you only pay per project, I believe. So you don't have to constantly have that subscription that you're paying for to deliver.
Oh, man, I'm down that rabbit hole.
Yeah, so there's different options that you can try out. So check those out, and then I would suggest get rid of those Blu-ray DVDs. I don't know why you're still delivering in that way.
You also run the issue of what happens if they scratch it 4 years from now.
Yeah, and couples, I don't think they'll notice next season when you take that away. Unless they're really asking for it, just kind of. I don't know if it's worth the hassle, depending on what you're charging for that. So yeah.
In my mind, I feel like that would be a hindrance.
Yeah. So deliver a USB. We do that. Like if they book one of our packages, we can add a USB or raw files on a hard drive. That's also an option. But no DVDs. I don't even know how to burn a DVD and do all that stuff.
Right.
I don't want to deal with it.
Okay, let's move on to the next question. Let me scroll down here. I'm a bit bigger videographer. What do you suggest is the best bigger camera I can use? I don't really know what you mean, man.
Well, what's the biggest what's the biggest camera?
Yeah. What is the future of photography? Asks Andre Astasio 89. What will the photography business be like in 2030? Greetings from Ecuador. Let me get out my crystal ball. Hold on.
Maybe you can just like shoot photos with your eyes, like Google Glasses. I don't know.
2030. Honestly,
Not that far. 10 years.
I think that technology will slow down a little bit. Personally,
You think so?
yeah, because camera technology can only go as fast as the sensor and related hardware can keep up, right?
Yeah.
So sensor technology is already slowing down. Like look at cameras from year to year to year to year to year. A camera 3 years ago or 4 years ago arguably has maybe just a little bit less dynamic range.
Yeah.
It's not like we're seeing these leaps and bounds. We are seeing the occasional, like every 4 or 5 years, a leap and bound in read and write speed. Mm-hmm. Like look at the A9 when that came out and was able to put that throughput of 20 frames per second. That's crazy. But that doesn't happen every day. So I do think that we will see a slowdown. And it all depends on, honestly, not technology at the end of the day. It depends on sales. Because why is a brand going to invest and put in all of this stuff into their camera when they're not selling very much gear? You look at Canon for so many years. They didn't sell their high-end 1DX Mark IIs. They sold Rebels.
Yeah.
Right? And so they didn't innovate for a long time. And people outgrew their Rebels. They wanted something different. Finally, they were forced to catch up. Sony led the pack, but you can see them already slowing down.
This is completely like random, but do you think they'll get rid of just photography and it's just video and you're just it's so good that you're just taking stills out of it? Like there's no more.
It would all have to be raw video.
Yeah.
I think there will still be an industry for people, for photographers.
What if it's just a film? I don't know, like, because it could get to a point where it's pointless having just a video and photo camera. It's just a video. It's just a camera, kind of, that you can just extract whatever you want. If it's
but you still do run into things like shutter speed. I don't think we'll get there in 10 years to where if you're tracking a cheetah, you're not going to be shooting at
focus speed
1/8,000th of a second.
Yeah.
You're probably not going to be doing that in video. Can you imagine the capabilities of that camera?
Beast.
It'd just be insane, and I don't think we'll get there.
I can dream.
Those cameras already exist, and they're $100,000.
Yeah. Maybe they're like $5 by then.
Maybe, but and you do see that. You see commercial, and you see this in every decade, right? You see commercial high-end stuff trickle down. And I do think more and more of that stuff, and you're already seeing it now. Yeah. You're seeing raw video in mirrorless cameras. You're seeing these high-end specs trickle down, and there are pros and cons of that. The pros are the specs are there. The cons are those super high-end specs come with certain things like processing power that aren't necessarily there.
And something else about that is that we're getting all that technology, but some of the support gear is not catching up. It's still super expensive on the support side. Like,
correct.
The memory cards and everything's still really expensive, even though it got cheaper to do it on a mirrorless.
CFast 2.0, CF Express cards.
You're talking your hard drives, the space.
Yeah, you're talking $500 for some of these. They're essentially mini SSDs.
Yeah.
That's what your SD card is.
Yeah.
But yeah, I don't think that we're going to see this like giant leap in technology. I really don't.
I hope so, though.
I do hope that companies like Atomos will continue to like come around these brands, like with the Nikon brands, the Z6 and Z7 that can shoot RAW. Well, cool, they can shoot RAW, but the Z6 and Z7 couldn't output that internally, obviously. Yeah. So you need other brands. You need this community of technology to come together and work together. And without that, it's just not going to happen. But I do think that we will see, that trickle down of technology from the big stuff down to the more prosumer and professional cameras. We have a 61 megapixel Sony sensor, for goodness sake.
I want a large format RAW in a mirrorless.
They have that.
Which one is it?
They have the Fujifilm, the 100 megapixel camera. It doesn't output RAW. I'm sure it could if like I said, a support device could come along and deal with that. But it has phase detect autofocus, and
I like Fuji, man. I like Fuji a lot.
This is $10,000 camera.
I don't like it that much.
It's legit though, man. It's legit. But yeah, do we have any more questions? And we'll answer a few. We've been rolling on this for quite a while. Let's do one last question from. Oh wait, two last questions. I seem to get caught up in overthinking instead of just getting at it and creating. What I've been thinking about is either going Apple-based or Android PC-based tech for my gear. Honestly, that's personal preference. That's all you want to do. And just don't think about it. Make it as informed as of a decision as you can, and then go with it and be okay with it.
Yeah, kind of maybe make a pros and cons list on which ones you want to go with.
All right, last question. So I have the nifty 50 lens on my Rebel. I like it a lot. It struggles with focus and blur as models move fast, what we were talking about earlier, or change their depth a lot. How can I articulate needs to new models? So that we kind of talked about that earlier. A Rebel is a perfectly acceptable camera, but you may come to certain limitations with that camera. And I think that that's when it's time to upgrade. If you can't keep someone in focus, it's kind of a problem.
Yeah. And how do they articulate needs to new models? Needs in like posing wise? Like don't move that much?
I honestly don't know with the end of that question. But yeah, I think that you've come to the limitation of that camera. If it's not able to continuously keep someone in focus, grab a cheap crop sensor camera, because the camera you're currently using is a crop sensor camera. Go with Fuji. Go with Sony. I mean, even a Canon full frame camera these days has really good eye autofocus, and you simply won't deal with those issues.
Yeah, and always communicate before the shoot as well. If say you can't upgrade, communicate with the model, beforehand, and say, hey, don't move as much.
Yeah, like they're saying, I'll move forward and back. Well,
then don't move forward and back. Then try to get your shot. Make sure you got it, and then move and refocus. Make sure you just know the limitations and not be so moving around all the time then if that's the case.
Exactly.
But communicate before the shoot.
All right, so David and I wanted to talk a little bit about our favorite gear that we purchased in 2019.
Let's go.
So without further ado, what's going to be the gear that we purchased?
I'm excited. I'm so excited about this.
What'd you get, man?
What'd I get? What's my favorite gear of 2019? Obviously, it's sitting right in front of me. S1H. I'm so pumped about it. It's been a real game changer when I got it.
Yeah.
But overall, I think switching over to the Panasonic system and with the 5-axis stabilization is the most, the biggest purchase I made this year and the most exciting because of the dual native ISO and everything that I'm able to do with this camera completely changed the way that I shoot. And I'm so excited moving forward to 2020 with it. I'm so pumped up about it. So I think making the switch from Sony to Panasonic was huge this year for me.
Mm-hmm.
And this bad boy really made sure that gap in ISO, being with the GH5, not being able to shoot high ISO, this kind of covered everything. Full frame, dual native ISO, 5-axis stabilization. It is
6K.
amazing. 6K, which I never shoot, but I'm so hyped. I'm so pumped, and I can't wait for next year with the
Why couldn't
S1H.
they put 4K 120 in there?
I don't know.
They could put 6K.
I don't know.
I feel like the processing is definitely up there.
I have no clue, but I never shoot that anyways.
Right. I mean, you got 4K 60.
Not full frame.
1.3, 1.4 crop?
Some crappy crop that I don't like. But
Still.
definitely my favorite purchase of 2019 is the S1H, guys. It's been amazing. It's been a couple months with it. Hasn't been a full year, so my thoughts are still building up on it. Can't wait to shoot more weddings and more content this upcoming year with it.
Noise.
How about you? Number one.
Well, I think I have like 3 top favorites.
I might add a couple more.
My second runner-up, so my third top favorite I think, is the Sony 24mm G Master. And I never honestly thought I would like the 24mm focal length. I think that it can look kind of gnarly.
Yeah.
If you're too close to your subjects, you get that Bowie view. But I think when done right, it can look really good. And so I'm trying to focus on figuring out those angles where it still looks really good. But I really like the lens. It's super light. If I want a big telephoto lens, I've got 70-200. I've got the 105 1.4, which creates really unique images.
Yeah.
But having the ability to have such a low light lens at 1.4 and 24 millimeters, that wide angle, is really cool.
And I had that lens, and it was amazing. I loved it when I was shooting Sony, especially for landscapes or architecture. Sure. It looks really good.
Yeah.
I had it like on a Ronin with the 24 on it. It looked great.
And I'm gonna go shoot with it on the Weeble S.
There you go.
And I'm really excited for that. So, yeah, that's my second runner-up. My first runner-up is the Rodecaster Pro. Obviously, you're listening to it right now. It's a really cool product, and it's allowed us to do this podcast, something that I've wanted to do for the last couple of years, but have really just not been able to make happen. So thanks, man, for helping me make this happen.
You're welcome.
Us make it happen. And then my first, not my first runner-up, but the winner of my favorite piece of gear is not photography related, and it's I mean, hands down, the 2019 16-inch MacBook Pro. I was rocking a 2015. I think that you're still rocking, which is an amazing computer.
Mine's a 2013.
Oh, 2013.
I checked.
So mine was the 2015. It was the very last one with all the ports. And I heard from so many people, like, you're going to hate the dongle life and all this stuff. But it really hasn't bothered me that much. I had a UHS 1 card reader. Everyone wants the card reader back, but it was UHS 1. Yeah. And my cameras are rocking UHS 2 now, and I was going to buy an external card reader anyway, so I really don't care about that. So I love it. It's fast. I switched over to Final Cut. Render times are exceptional. I'm able to do things in Final Cut that I just could never do in Premiere Pro.
Fairly new purchase as well.
Fairly new purchase. I've had it about a month, and it's really improved my workflow. It's just a nice product that I enjoy using, and that's what a product should be for you. Yeah. It should increase your productivity. It should make you faster, and it was time. And I honestly really lucked out when it's come to purchasing computers over the last 5 years, because the 2015 was like the last big update, quote unquote. And then the updates after that were little incremental updates. Yeah. And I feel like the next time I purchased a computer, like I could have purchased a computer 6 months ago, and I would have been screwed. Like everyone's getting rid of those 2018 MacBook Pros, the last 15-inch model. This one right here is a worthy upgrade.
I'm not gonna lie, I'm jealous.
It's nice.
I like it. And everything you've been telling me about it, I'm like, I need to upgrade. It's time to upgrade.
Right. But the 2015 one that I had, which I'm going to sell, if anybody out there wants to buy that computer, you let me know. It's still a great computer. It was fantastic for me. I did 4K multicam stuff on there. It was still really good.
Well, the 2013 model, I'm still rocking it.
Yeah.
And proxies, use proxies.
Exactly, and I never even used proxies, but it was a fantastic computer. But this one is just even better. The speaker system is so noticeable from the 2015 to the 2019 version. It's wild. Love the bigger trackpad.
It looks good.
And I like USB-C. I really do. It's faster. It's awesome. So the 2019 MacBook Pro, the 16-inch model, I spec'd out everything on it except for the hard drive space and the processor. So I did one step down processor, and I did 1 terabyte. I kind of wish I had done 2 terabytes of storage, but at the same time, I didn't want to pay like an extra $400.
I know. I can't wait. Next year, I'm going to get
it. I'm just going to go forward to 2020, and my favorite camera is either going to be the A7S III or the FX6. Those are the 2 cameras that I'm hoping for in 2020.
Aren't announced yet.
Yeah.
Is the A7 III even announced?
No, but they have said they're going to make it. A long time ago. Maybe they changed their minds. Sony, come on, man. Just come on.
I have another little random purchase that I want to shout out because it's been great.
Oh, nice. All right, we're waiting for David to grab something here. Oh, it's a light.
It's a little random little Core SWX light, and we used 2 of these. Bought them midway through the year.
They runs on the Sony
NPF batteries.
Okay.
I use the big old ones that it came with.
Yep.
But we carry them around. They fit in your bag, and we light our receptions with these.
Nice.
And they're really portable. They have a little remote with them, and they made our life so much easier. Just we can pop these up real quick, by color, and kind of match up to the room very easy. So it made our life super easy, and they're kind of cheap. You know, they're pretty cheap and bright. So this is another little random purchase that I got that really was a game changer for weddings. So if you're shooting live events and you need a light, rock these. These are great, and they're cheap.
You don't always need ginormous lights.
Yeah, these are perfect.
Nice.
That's it.
All right. So as we move forward to 2020, I mean, anything you want to talk about? We here at the Shooters Club, we've got kind of goals. We're still, I feel like, in our infancy. We're figuring stuff out.
Mm-hmm.
We forget stuff every week to like turn on microphones and you know, we just forget stuff. But you know, I would encourage you guys to get some goals as you move forward in this next year, business, personal, all that good stuff. We have kind of talked about goals we have here, but we just want to keep growing this platform mainly. We thank you guys for tuning in, for listening, but you know, if you can share this, our listens are far and above more than the people watching it on YouTube. But if you listen to it on iTunes or your Apple Podcast, share it with a friend. If you find it fun or interesting or informative, just share it. We would appreciate that. We're trying to grow and grow and grow, and we're doing this for the love of it. We're not being paid. We're in fact spending money to make the podcast. So I listen to Adam Carolla on occasion, and you know, he called it his pirate ship. He can do whatever he wanted, say whatever he wanted, and that's kind of liberating. But we just like talking about this stuff, and thank you guys for being with us this first, couple months that we've been doing it pretty much.
Yeah, we really appreciate it, and it's motivating to see you guys ask questions, you know, see you in the live chat, and just let us know how we can improve going forward in 2020 and what we can do better. Any suggestions, you know, comments, let us know.
But if you're listening, I think the best way, a fun way would be head over to the Brotographer on YouTube and find this video and leave a comment down below with your goals for your business for 2020, and we can start a discussion there. We've been throwing around the idea of creating a Facebook group for the Brotographer, not for the Brotographer, for the Shooters Club, and you know, just having an interactive group there where people can ask questions,
gear.
and talk and share their stuff, and we can share with you and ask you questions too. But yeah, you know, head over to YouTube and ask your questions down in the comment, and we would really appreciate that. Maybe help the algorithm too. Everyone talks about the YouTube algorithm. I don't know what's going on. I just want to create content that I want to create.
Let's do it.
Yeah. What else do you want to talk about, man? Is there anything else before we go today?
I think that's it. I'm looking forward to 2020. I'm excited.
Yeah, a little short episode. I think we're a little less than 40 minutes in. But it's the holidays. Go spend some time with your family. I know I will. We've got Christmas tomorrow. By the time you're hearing this, it will be over. But as the new year rolls around, make sure to get your taxes done. I always procrastinate.
Yeah.
Dude, I procrastinate so hard. And this year was the first year I filed an extension. And I feel like I just did my taxes in October. And it's like, oh.
I'm scared.
Shoot.
I'm scared. It's my first year in business. And, I'll let you guys know how that goes.
I hate doing my taxes, and then I'm so relieved at the end of my taxes. Like, I feel like this major weight is just off my shoulders. But do your taxes quick. I'm telling myself I will. You do it too.
There you go.
But anyways, Happy New Year, everybody. We hope that you have a fantastic and safe New Year's Eve and a great start to your work and personal life.
There you go.
Anyways.
See you next year.
Yeah, see you next decade.
There you go.
But we'll see you then, and Again, leave a comment down in the description. You can find me at the Brotographer, and that's at the _Brotographer. And you can find us at the _shooters_club. So the Shooters Club, just search for that on YouTube, and you can find David at
Capture Color, at Capture Color, COLOUR. And there's a bunch of this gear stuff that I post, my new camera. You can follow me there.
Cool. All right. Well, we will see you guys in the next one. Peace.